The cosmos had always been vast, boundless, and enigmatic, but few moments in its endless history carried the weight of what was about to unfold. Deep within the endless void, beyond the reach of mortal comprehension, a ripple of pure energy swept across the multiverse. It was not the natural ebb and flow of cosmic forces, it was a disturbance, a calling, and a warning. The Beyonder had arrived. The Beyonder, a being beyond mortal understanding, was the embodiment of a realm outside the multiverse. His existence was pure energy, his thoughts an unfathomable mystery. To some, he was a god. To others, a curious and indifferent observer. His power dwarfed that of any known force, and yet his endless curiosity about the nature of existence often led him to meddle with the very fabric of reality. This time, his curiosity was piqued by a singular being, the Devourer of Worlds. Galactus, the World Eater, roamed the cosmos as the last survivor of the previous universe. Towering and omnipotent, he was both a necessity and a terror. Galactus fed on planets rich in life to sustain his incomprehensible power, a cycle both feared and respected by those who dared to witness it. To him, his hunger was not a choice, but a duty, a balance to the growing chaos of creation. Their paths were destined to cross. The Beyonder observed Galactus from afar, his form an iridescent shimmer in the void of space. He watched as Galactus prepared to consume a vibrant planet teeming with life. The inhabitants of the planet, a species advanced in technology yet humble in spirit, pleaded for mercy, their voices echoing through the ether. Galactus paid them no heed. His immense ship, Tar-2, loomed over the world, casting a shadow larger than moons. As the energy siphoning began, the Beyonder intervened. With a mere thought, he froze the process, halting the collapse of the planet's core. Galactus, startled by the unprecedented interference, turned his gaze toward the source of this audacity. Who dares disrupt the will of Galactus? His voice boomed, resonating like a quake through the cosmic expanse. The Beyonder materialized before Galactus, his form shifting and shimmering, neither solid nor wholly visible. "I am the Beyonder," he stated, his voice calm, yet carrying the weight of infinity. "I have observed your hunger, your cycle of consumption. It intrigues me. I seek to understand it." Galactus narrowed his eyes, his cosmic senses flaring. "You interfere with forces you cannot comprehend, Beyonder. I am no mere being for you to study. I am necessity incarnate, the balance of life and death." The Beyonder tilted his head, amused by Galactus's assertion. Necessity, balance, such mortal concepts for a being of your stature? Do you not see that you are but a fragment of a greater existence, a cog in a machine I have already surpassed? The tension between them grew palpable, the stars themselves seeming to dim under the weight of their confrontation. Galactus, unaccustomed to being questioned, let alone challenged, bristled with cosmic energy. "Your arrogance will be your undoing, Beyonder. I have faced gods and beings who claim supremacy. All have fallen before my might. You shall be no different." The Beyonder smiled, his expression serene. "I am not here to destroy you, Galactus, but if you believe yourself supreme, I'm curious to see how your strength fares against mine. Perhaps in conflict, I shall uncover the truth of your purpose and mine." With a flick of his will, the Beyonder restored the planet's stability, releasing its inhabitants from the grip of Galactus's hunger. The Devourer of Worlds growled in irritation, his colossal frame radiating an aura of power that dwarfed the surrounding galaxies. "Very well, Beyonder," Galactus declared, his voice colder than the void. "If you seek to test me, you will find that even your vaunted power has limits." The battle between the two titans was now inevitable. Two forces, each representing something greater than life itself, were about to collide. The multiverse itself trembled in anticipation of what was to come.
Are you just watching?
Subscribe, please.
The clash began with a single silent instant that echoed across the infinite planes of existence. Galactus, unyielding in his stature, raised his mighty hands, channeling the vast energies of the power cosmic. From his fingertips erupted beams of energy so bright that entire solar systems blinked out of existence, their stars extinguished by the sheer force of his attack. The Beyonder stood unmoved. The beams reached him, but instead of consuming him, they dissipated into motes of harmless light, fading like dying embers. He gazed at Galactus with an unreadable expression, as though the attack was little more than an interesting phenomenon. "You wield immense power," the Beyonder remarked, his voice calm and almost contemplative. "But it is limited. Bound by the laws of this universe. I am beyond such constraints." Galactus roared, his frustration palpable. With a sweep of his hand, he summoned the energies of collapsing stars, creating a maelstrom of destruction around them. Planets and asteroids disintegrated in the wake of his might. Space itself bent and tore as Galactus unleashed his wrath, his colossal form glowing with unfathomable energy. But the Beyonder merely raised a hand. With a thought, the raging storm of cosmic chaos froze in place. Time and space seemed to bow before him, obeying his will. The swirling energy dissipated into nothingness, leaving Galactus standing alone in the void. "Your power is impressive, but it is constrained by your hunger, your dependence on the worlds you consume," the Beyonder said, his voice unyielding. "You are a necessity of this multiverse, but I am the architect of realities. I do not consume, I create and unmake." Galactus, undeterred, unleashed his full might. The power cosmic surged from him in waves, each more devastating than the last. Nebulae evaporated, black holes imploded, and entire dimensions shuddered. But the Beyonder stood untouched, his form shimmering with a brilliance that outshone the collapsing multiverse around them. And then the Beyonder acted. With a single gesture, he turned Galactus's power against him. The World Eater staggered as his cosmic energies recoiled, folding back upon his massive frame. He roared in agony, his colossal body buckling under the weight of his own unleashed might. "No!" Galactus bellowed, his voice cracking under the strain. "I am Galactus! I am eternal!" The Beyonder's gaze softened, almost pitying. "Eternal? No. You are a fragment, a relic of what came before. Your purpose is noble, but you have reached your limit." With a wave of his hand, the Beyonder severed Galactus's connection to the power cosmic. The glow surrounding the World Eater faded, his immense form shrinking as his strength waned. For the first time in eons, Galactus felt weakness, a foreign, terrifying sensation. The void around them grew silent. Galactus, now reduced to a shadow of his former self, knelt before the Beyonder. His armor cracked, his energy dimmed. He gazed up at his conqueror, his pride shattered, but his will unbroken. "Finish it," Galactus growled, his voice laced with defiance. "If you are truly beyond, then end me and prove it." The Beyonder shook his head. "I am not here to destroy you, Galactus. Destruction is beneath me. You still serve a purpose in this multiverse, even in defeat. But know this, you are no longer the apex. Your time as a force of reckoning has come to an end. I leave you to contemplate your place in the grand design." With that, the Beyonder turned and began to fade, his form dissolving into shimmering light. Galactus, battered but alive, watched as his adversary vanished into the void. Alone in the silent expanse, Galactus clenched his fists, his pride wounded but his resolve unbroken. The Beyonder's victory was undeniable, yet it left Galactus with a lingering question. What role could a being of such limitless power possibly play in a multiverse where even he, the Devourer of Worlds, had been humbled? The cosmos itself seemed to hold its breath, as though aware that this battle had not ended a cycle, but rather begun a new one. The Beyonder's victory was not the conclusion, it was the prologue to something far greater.